welcome to my channel, Planning with Bree. I'm Bree, and today I am going to be setting up my mom's March prayer journal spreads. So I am going to start with the cover page here, over here to the left, or the left side of the cover page, and this is going to be the place for her reflection for last month and then her goals for this month. So I'm not quite sure what everything that she uses her journal for as far as goals and things like that, if it is only for spiritual, biblical, and prayer goals, or if there are other things in it, but this is just a space that she can use for that. So for March, and if you have watched any of my videos for setting up my mama's journals, you know that I ask her, or I try to ask her every month, and every month we go through the same thing. I ask her, I say, Mama, what would you like for your journal? And she says, well, haven't we been through this already? And when she says that, she means, girl, stop asking me. Do what you want to do. So if anything, I wanted to just get a color scheme. So she said green, but for me, March is greenish, blues and teals and things like that. So that's what I am going with. For most of these images, I got them from Pinterest. So the flower or the leaf stem that you see me gluing down now, I got that from Pinterest. That green behind it, that was some scrap paper that I had left over that I'm using right now. It's actually from a folder that we have around the house that I don't use much anymore. And the green and cream that I laid down first is also from Pinterest. I think I searched like greenery or green leaves or something like that. For this picture right here that I'm going down, it is another Pinterest photo, and I probably searched green aesthetic pictures. That's probably what I searched on Pinterest. So now I'm going to use these sticky notes. I love these sticky notes. I got them from Shein.com, and they're very versatile. I just really like the colors and the fact that it has lines and you can just write on them, and I don't have to draw any lines in. So I actually got the idea to use basically liquid glue and a paintbrush to put everything down from someone else on YouTube called or named Jakira Holloman. She uses actual liquid glue. I'm using Mod Podge because that's what I have on hand, and it was easier than working with a glue stick. So after I put in some details on everything in that first picture, I'm just going through and just drawing a couple of lines and dots just to give the background, you know, a little something, just to give it a little something in the background. So right here, I am using my darkest brown Crayola tip marker and my stamps, and I'm just coloring in this letter on the stamp. So I'm doing this because I didn't want to use black ink. I thought that that would be too harsh, and I don't have a dark brown ink pad. And I've tried this once just playing around with my stamps, and I thought about it for this spread. So that's what I used. And I'm just going to stamp in goals and reflections on this top sticky note up here at the top. And I love how this brown turned out. I am glad that I chose to do brown instead of black. It is just much softer and it ties everything together. So once I'm done stamping that in, I am going to use my Uniball. This is really a Uniball Signo. Oh, Pigma Micron. That's what the other pen is called. Sorry. So this right here is my Uniball Signo white gel pen, and I'm just going to draw in Feb, F-E-B, at the top for her February reflection, and then I'm going to pencil in or pin in March down here for her March goals. And I'm also going to use that white gel pen to create a little bit of designs on the dark green paper. I thought that that would look better than using the black. So I'm going to wrap up this spread and move on to the next page. So this next page is the title page for March, and I just wanted it to be a full collage spread. I've been into collaging and I guess junk journaling. I'm not sure if that's the right term for it. Let me know in the comments, is it technically junk journaling if I print off 95% of the pictures that I use. So some of these pictures I already had printed off, but most of them I got from Pinterest. So all of these pictures, I just went into Pinterest and I may have searched like green aesthetic pictures or blue aesthetic pictures and things like that. The picture that I'm gluing down right now is left over from what I used for my Black History spread in my bullet journal for February, and I'll link that in the cards above. Everything else was from Pinterest. So the woman that I just glued down reminds me of, takes me to when my mom and I planned a trip to Italy to go see a cousin back in 2020. And of course, in March, the whole world shut down, so we were unable to go. But I did tell her that I was going to add that, and she was very excited. So that's why I chose those two pictures there. So I'm just going to draw out March in cursive. As best as I can. Like I said, since I've been in collaging or junk journaling, I guess, whatever you like to call it. I haven't been practicing my hand lettering much, but I think it turned out pretty cute since I haven't been hand lettering in the past couple months. So I am going to add some details to all of these pictures. Right now I'm outlining the leaves and the flower pots in this picture just to bring it to life and add some depth. And then I'm going to use my gold Uniball Signo pen and add some details back into this picture. I love using this pen to go over what was already gold because it shines on the paper when you move it. It's very, very pretty. So I'm also going to add a couple of doodles right here. I guess these are like ovals or pear shapes. I'm not sure, but it looks like emphasis or like what you would see in a comic book when they're like, those, bam. What are those called? There is a word for that. I'm not going to try it. I'm a math person. I don't know. So since I had some elements of this page that were thicker than paper, I wanted to make sure that they were all binded together. So I'm going to use this high gloss Mod Podge to seal it all in by just covering the entire page with a thin layer of Mod Podge. I let that dry for about an hour while I ran an errand, and I love that glossy finish. It's so pretty. Okay, so I am going to move on to the next page. So on the left-hand side here, I decided to make this a quote page. I was kind of stuck on what to do with it because I was going to put her reflection and goals sections on this page, and I forgot. I was watching Money Heist. I'm not sure if y'all watched that or not. I was watching the last season of Money Heist. Yes, I know I'm behind. And I got really into it and just started gluing things down and writing, and I got really into creating that first page. And so when I flipped over to the back, I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? So I just decided to create a quote page, and then I was stuck trying to figure out what quotes or what Bible verse I was going to use. So since this is my mom's prayer journal and she is following our pastor here in our home city, I decided to go with the theme of the year. So our word for this year for the church that I attend is unhindered. And he has been teaching on living an unhindered life. The previous sermons have been about unhindered fasting God's way. So that is the quote that I put on this page. Especially since this month we are starting a fast, or the church is starting a fast. I have not started it because, I need to get my life together. But I believe my mom is participating in that fast. So that is what these two pages are going to be for. So for my quote page, I just laid down some green and blue leaves. Now that I look back on it, blue leaves are not typically used, and I thought about that when I drew them, but they still came out cute, so I'm not mad at it. So I just drew those out all over the page just to lay that down as a background for the fonts or for the hand lettering for the quotes. And then I'm just going to write out the quote on this page. So for this next page that I'm going to draw, it is going to be all about the purpose of why she's fasting. And at first I was telling her about it, and I was going to make it so much more detailed and so much more complex and something that she could use every day. And I was getting really excited about it, but I was thinking about it from my point of view and how I would do it. And she does not use this as a bullet journal, so I had to scale it back. And I just wanted to give her a page to write anything that she wanted to write, whether it was a prayer or just bullet points of the reasons for her fast, or however she wants to use that page. So it was important for me to give her a purpose page, which is what this is basically. If you are not in the prayer journal community and you just use a bullet journal or a reading journal, this could be a great page just for the purpose of the month, where you can detail your goals and the action steps that you need for your goals. Or maybe this could be your habit tracker or anything like that. So right here, I am going to use some light gray lines to fill in the background because I didn't want to leave it blank. And it is very reminiscent of a spread that I just did for her birthday month last month. So I'm going to go ahead and write out "I'm fasting for" at the top of this page. I also included the dates of this fast, and then I'm just going to leave it blank. I do fill in every other line with a light gray line just to give some accents to this page. The last thing I do is I'm going to glue down some pictures on that side there for the Dutch door element so that it is not completely left blank. Some of these were scraps, and then I also included like a small blue phone. And I chose this phone because it was so cute. I was thinking of the song, the song that goes, "Call them up and tell them what you want." That's what I was thinking of. Since this is a prayer journal, you get it? I don't know. It was cute to me. So then I just finished drawing in a few accents and a few doodles. This phone picture did have the word love on the phone itself, and I just wanted to draw that in so that you could see it more clearly. And once I'm done with these doodles, we're on to the next page. So I start this page out by drawing a lot of rectangles, some squares, and a few hexagons. One thing I know for sure, and one thing my mom can tell me that she wants for sure in every single bullet journal, is a favorites page. So this is where she will write her favorite scriptures and verses or prayers or song lyrics, quotes, anything that she wants to write for the month. So I am going to do these in various sizes. I tried to give her enough. I kind of peeked at her last month just to see if she filled it in, and she did not. She filled it in, but she didn't use all of the space. So that is why I decided to use shapes instead of just giving her a full blank page. So I'm going to write March favorites at the top, and then I'm just going to go in with some doodles and fill this page in the same colors that I've been using on the last two spreads. For the background, I do use those same horizontal lines in the lightest gray just so I don't leave it blank, and just to add a little bit of character. Guys, I'm sorry about the noise that you may hear in the background. I keep forgetting to keep my hand off the mic, so I do apologize for that. So if you saw my prayer journal set up, I used kind of the same elements as far as the design for this page. So I tried to use the same designs for the same shapes. So for these horizontal rectangles, I used a dotted edge. For the vertical rectangles, I am going to draw some green leaves like I'm doing right here, just along one of the sides or the corners. And for the squares, I outlined them in the lightest blue. And I just like how it gives the whole page, it's kind of cohesive if I do it that way. And then it also gives it another element of something to look at. So I'm going to start setting up week 1 by gluing this beautiful picture of butterflies down. And while that's drying, I flip back and I add some doodles to this page. So I'm just going to use the same doodles that I have been using, which are these little oval things, and a few lines, dots, and dashes here and there, just to give this page a little more character. For her weekly layouts, I pretty much keep them exactly the same. So I wanted to put a little picture in the top corner, and then I write the same 4 things for every week. A place to write her date, the scripture, the sermon title, and a place for notes. So she uses all of this space for notes because we have a lot of notes from our sermons. Most of them are electronic, but just in case we want to add a little something else, that's what these pages are for. I stamp in week 1 and I'm going to make some waterfall pages. So this washi tape that I have, I got from Shein.com. It does not stick down well, so I had to lay down a layer of glue, or Mod Podge in this case, because it was easier than using the glue stick. I already had it poured out. And I'm just going to use various shades of green and blue on the ends of these pages to create these waterfall pages. And that is it for her weekly spreads. In this final flip through, you will be able to see how I finished the weekly spreads, but I really like how it turned out. I loved the color scheme, combining those blue and greens. And that is it for this video. Please stay tuned to my channel for another video next Tuesday. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.